Hi, my name is Cecil Baumann, and I'm your host and the founder of the company Ganz in Bewegung. I'm a movement and Alexander technique specialist. My business serves holistic thinking people who want to improve their mind body connection. Today, we are honored to have Maaike Aarts with us. Maaike is not only a talented violinist who has played with renowned orchestras like the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra, but also certified teacher of the Alexander Technique. We are so excited to have her here. But before I bring her up, I want to share what I mean by mind-body connection. The Ganz in Bewegung system we developed includes 7 defining components of being human. For non-German speakers, the meaning of Ganz in Bewegung is the whole of you in motion, which includes your movement, your body, your surrounding, your experience, your emotion, your thinking, and all is connected with your breathing, and all is interconnected with each other. Today, we are pleased to welcome Maaike Aarts, a professional violinist and certified Alexander Technique teacher with over 23 years of experience. Maaike has dedicated her career to helping musicians and individuals overcome physical tension, pain, and stress, allowing them to move freely and perform with confidence. As a former first violinist with the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra and associate concertmaster of the Netherlands Chamber Orchestra, she brings a wealth of experience from the professional music world. Maaike is passionate about teaching the Alexander Technique, a method that focuses on improving posture and movement to enhance overall well-being. Over the years, she has worked with hundreds of students, guiding them to reconnect with their full potential through personalized instruction. Additionally, she developed the Think Up app to make the principles of the Alexander Technique accessible not only to musicians, but also to anyone interested in enhancing their well-being and movement in daily life. In today's conversation, we will explore her journey in music, her approach to teaching, and how she supports artists in achieving their best performance. Please join me in welcoming Maaike Aarts. Hi, Maaike. I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to meet in person a few weeks ago at the Alexander Technique Congress in Dublin. And I'm grateful that you are my guest today.
Yes, thank you so much, Cecile, for having me. I'm really, really happy.
Maaike, can you share your journey into music and how your early experiences shaped who you are today as a musician?
Yes, so I was kind of a young, talented violinist. I was in the conservatory since I was 11. So quite early, even before going to high school, I was already very serious, practicing 3 hours a day, doing competitions, the whole thing. And over the years, I got kind of, yeah, a bit stressed and a bit anxious, about performing. So I had this super free performance, being on stage, very, very comfortable. And as I turned like 15, 16, 17, it started to really decrease and I started to become worried and anxious and I started to practice harder, but it didn't really work. And then I went really to conservatory because I graduated high school. So then I could practice even harder, which was in my case not such a good idea, because I was actually over practicing because I actually was afraid of not performing as I wanted or not performing as I could. And my only strategy was working harder, basically.
Mhm.
So that's what I did, but it gave me a lot of injuries. So I had many times of episodes of tendonitis in my left forearm and wrist, and I got stuck even more, like on stage, performance anxiety, and in a way I improved, but in a way I also was totally not improving. And yeah, that this went on, and the only strategy I had was wait until I'm better. That's what my teacher told me. Like, oh, you have an injury. Tell me when you are better, and then we continue our lessons. So I wouldn't see him for 1 month or for 2 months or 3 months or something like that. And that was all. We were just waiting until the pain was going away, and that was it. And I maybe went to the physio once or twice, and I had posture therapy, but that didn't appeal to me at all because it made me super tense, and I had to stand up straight and fix my stomach. And then I thought,
Ah,
how can this help my wrist because I'm now not breathing at all? And so I was really didn't feel that I had any strategy, not at all, really. I was just going back to my old habits after the pain was gone. And then, yeah, in my bachelor exam, I did my bachelor exam, but I did kind of decide to stop playing after that because I was, in so much pain that I couldn't really play. And I really knew that if I wouldn't stop playing and really figure out for once and for all what was actually causing this, I couldn't be a violinist, that was really clear. So I stopped playing and I went on looking for solutions. And after 1.5 years, I was already starting with history to become a history teacher because I thought, yeah, it's not going to happen because I didn't find anything that would work. And then someone suggested Alexander technique, and at that point it was not yet in the conservatories in Holland and starting to get up, like be more known, but very little, in
Mm.
1998 I'm talking about. So I started my private lessons, and yeah, that was really like, oh wow, like a revelation, because I suddenly realized, oh, I'm holding so much tension in my neck, and I'm pressing my head on my violin, and I'm tensing my left arm, and I'm thinking all these negative thoughts continuously, and I'm stressing myself out, and I'm forcing myself, and I don't breathe when I'm playing, and hardly, not, of course, no, not don't, but so yeah, I started to really become aware of all the causes actually that were behind in my unconsciousness, and I just wasn't aware of any of it. So slowly, Alexander Technique gave me this awareness, and then I started to heal. Then I went back to study my master's, and then I came in the Concertgebouw Orchestra. So that's a long story
Oh,
short.
can you repeat the last sentence?
And then I came into the Concertgebouw Orchestra after my master's degree, after I became a teacher. I did audition for this super famous orchestra and I got in, so I kind
Yeah.
of yay. So I kind of, I totally thank Alexander Technique for being able to be a violinist in the first place, and then also having really a tool to bring my full potential out, and to
Mhm.
really play from my heart again without stressing out and without having all this performance anxiety. Yeah. And
So
without
you trained. So you trained, you finished a training to be a violinist, and then you also trained as an Alexander teacher, or
yes, at the
did this
same
came
time.
later or
No,
at the same
exactly. Yeah.
time? Oh, really?
At the
You
same
did it
time. So
parallel?
yeah, at the same time. So I did my master, which was 2 years, and I did my Alexander training, which was 3 years. And so, and I had 1 year in between the bachelor and the master's. I took off. So in the end, I graduated with both Alexander and violin in the same year in 2002.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Actually, a great combination, I think,
absolutely. Yeah,
Always come back to yourself and then go
absolutely.
out and work wisely with your
Absolutely.
instruments.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was really actually a golden opportunity. And I really actually am very thankful that I had this path. And of course, at that moment, it was really hard, but I wouldn't want it to have been any other way, actually, looking back, because I'm so grateful of the Alexander technique in my life. And it brought me so much calm and quiet, and knowing how to free myself up and to enjoy my life, but also my music. And yeah, it was just a gift for life, really.
Oh, and I mean, this is such a satisfying result that you could play as a first violinist
Yes,
also. I mean, this
totally.
is amazing,
Yeah, it was
and
amazing. Yeah,
not by playing harder and training harder, but instead learning how to use your tool. So this is
exactly.
amazing,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, it was
And
really great. And
how
yeah,
did your performance and teaching, teaching yourself to play better change from the Alexander technique? What was most helpful? How how
yeah.
different, for people who don't know the Alexander technique,
Yes,
how different you started to use and play?
yeah. Well, so before I would just say I have to practice 5 or 6 or 7 hours a day.
Hmm.
And then I would start to practice, and then I would have too many things in my mind that I wanted to do. So I would start to practice with, oh, like the impossible feeling of I'm not gonna make it in 5, 6, 7 hours a day. I need actually 9 hours, but I don't have 9 hours. So, that's how I started, every day. So I started with this feeling of lack of time, hurrying, stressed, being stressed basically, breathing, stuck, and then you get this physical reaction, of course, of
Mm-hmm.
all the mental stress. And then, of course, that's a recipe for all kinds of negative things. So now, when I started the Alexander training lessons, or actually the private lessons before I went training, my teacher told me, lie down in active rest once a day. That was my homework, basically. And I thought, oh, that's great. That's the best homework I ever had. So, that's what I started to do, like, and then I discovered if I practice first and then lie down, that's nice. But actually, it's much better if I lie down first and then practice. And I started
Wonderful.
to see, okay, if I lie down first and start with stopping and start with calm and start with spatial awareness and good breathing and a calm mind and a good mindset, and then I start my practice, I actually can do what I used to do in 1 hour. I can do it in 10 minutes basically, or in 15 minutes. So I started to see that if I started to practice differently, I was so much more efficient, and I was so much more having more fun as well, and I felt so much better afterwards, and I felt not stressed, and I didn't practice all the stress into my playing. So that was the
Mhm.
first step, actually, lying down before I started to practice. And at one point I just said to myself, you're never going to skip this ever again. This is going to be the thing. First take care of you, and then you start to practice.
Yeah.
And I still do that. I just don't practice before without having first been lying down. And yeah, and then of course you start to also apply it while practicing. So you start to make micro pauses, like for instance, just before a high note, can be scary. You think, oh my God, maybe I miss it or something, or you feel insecure about it. If you practice a stop before you shift, then you can practice, yeah, being calm and have a good breathing and having good sound and having a musical connection, and then practice your shift. That's a completely different story. So then you practice the Alexander technique principles actually into the music. And
Mm.
that's what you will then remember when you're on stage, huh? Because if you have practiced all the time from fear, then of course on the stage, when you become a bit nervous, this will be amplified.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you practice from stopping and from, yeah, freeing yourself up and from breathing and from the ground, then this will become bigger, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then so this is a bit how you can apply it. There's of course many different tools I have, but this is basically how it works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. It's similar to dance.
Yeah,
I lie down at the beginning before a dance class, and I lie down afterwards.
exactly.
That was also my start because I couldn't integrate it directly into
Ex-
dancing. And
Exactly.
after a while, I took the time to integrate. But
Exactly.
that's really a tricky one. So you've worked with hundreds of students over the
Yeah.
years. What common issues do you see among musicians, and how do you help them address these challenges?
Well, yeah, what is common? Many things are common. Um, Too much muscular tension is very common in the neck, in the shoulders, in the legs, or in the lower back. And people are totally unaware of that they're holding that tension, just like I was, of course, totally unaware. So we are unfortunately unaware of our own unconscious, unhelpful habits. But muscular excess tension is one of a big one. Constant negative thinking or unhelpful thinking, unconstructive
Mm.
thinking. People can be, yeah, doubting about their level, about their playing, about their sound, about being able to deliver in front of thousands of people in the concert. So the mindset is of course a big thing that I'm working on and that we discuss, and we start to unravel. What are you saying to yourself? What are you playing while you're playing? How do you talk to yourself? Breathing, of course, is a big thing, but it's actually coming from the physical tension and from the unhelpful thinking. So the breathing is, of course, the cause of it is actually in the physical and mental stressors.
Yeah.
Um, Disconnecting from the music, that's a big one as well. People start to lose sometimes their connection, just like I was lost. And yeah, I only could connect to the music when I was really completely confident that I could be delivering what I wanted. But as
Mhm.
soon as you have a little bit less practice time or a little bit less, to be able to still go for the music within your orchestra job, and within that you have less time to prepare all the notes and all this, it's very, yeah, it's a quick process, and every week you have different program and different symphonies to learn. So to
Mhm.
stay musically connected in these circumstances, doing auditions is a very big one. To be disconnected from the music during auditions, it's very common to start
Mhm.
to be very technical and to only think of, oh, if I only play perfect, then they will give me the job. But actually, it doesn't work like that at all. And people are actually really not only wanting for the technical high level, but especially to feel connected to the music when someone's playing. But it's very easy to lose that as well. Yeah, so yeah, the ground, the upward expansion from the ground, but that's, yeah, so I think
Yeah.
we will have a bit of an overview now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's interesting, for people who don't know the Alexander technique, it's some think it's just the postural and movement technique,
Yeah,
but that's not the case, As I hear you talk, it's really about also the mindset, the thinking patterns
yeah,
who are involved. If you don't break them, you
yeah,
will never be out of also the body issues you generate with those kind of thinkings. It's combined, it's not disconnected, it's all together at
absolutely.
once. And you have to come from every angle and
Yeah,
also emotion you talked
absolutely.
about. So it's
Yeah,
it's really very holistic.
absolutely. So if
And
I may say something about that, so actually the excess muscular tension that I started with, that is the root cause behind people being having, if they want to improve their posture. Many people of course come with that wish. But
mhm,
actually the cause why they are not having a good posture is either like that or like that. It's
mhm,
both. In both cases it's actually excess muscular tension. So that's why I started with that. And then if you take away the tension, then the free upright balanced sitting without effort is actually what's coming back, because we all have it in us. We all have our innate possibility of being totally balanced, like a small child still can, and like a 1-year-old
mhm.
sitting up without effort and with free breathing, without needing to tense up your
Yeah,
shoulders or your belly or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really interesting.
And
And
then you
that's
get the free movement as well, because what we need is to have a free wrist and to have a free elbow and and if you are tense, then you get stuck. And if you don't notice it, then you feel very uncomfortable and then you become in a vicious downward spiral.
Yeah, and you can hear it. Yes, with the music, it's a direct message to how the sound is coming out of your instrument,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and that's really something to consider. And it's so interesting, that you focus on the whole being, not only on the posture, but that's a great start,
Mhm.
with the posture because it's, so close to us and to connect
Mhm.
again with your body. I think that's really a helpful tool. And not so many people know that this has an effect on your emotions, on your thinking, on your
Yeah,
well-being, as much as we know that. But
absolutely.
that's something important to share. And can you tell us about the creation of the Think Up app? What inspired you to develop this resource for others? Because I know it's a wonderful and a big resource that came
Yes.
out of this work.
Yeah. It started with a couple of students, and I started to. Some students are find it easy to start to think about Alexander technique, but some students find it hard. And because it is kind of a mental process, and um, I started to notice. Yeah, of course, I noticed already for years because I'm already teaching for many years, but I just started to experiment with helping the students who find it difficult to lie down and think about the Alexander technique or in their practice. I started to make audios basically, and I started to just improvise and I just spoke something and then I gave it to them. And And I started to notice that it really helped them, and they've also found that. And then I thought, okay, actually, it would be great to create an app because then you have all these audio guides. And then I thought, what you can apply Alexander technique to everything from brushing your teeth to bending to walking to running to computer work, traveling, biking, anything. So, and then I started, and I felt in my body like, oh, this is, I think, potentially a really great idea, like, and I started to write down all the activities. As soon as I had 100, so I thought, okay, I have to create 100 audio guides now, and if I really want to do this, like I intended, and I started to categorize them into 10 categories, um, and then COVID came. And then I already started a bit, but I realized, oh my God, this is so much work. I think before COVID, I think I finished 2 audio guides. It took me 2 months of work, and I still had 98 one to go. Like oh my God, what did I decide to do? But yeah, then COVID came, and then I was stuck in the house, and I had time to really go for it, and to do it. Because if COVID have not come, I wouldn't have. I kind of would have started, but I don't think I would have been able to finish it, or I would have decided to stop teaching for a year because it took me a whole year of full-time work to finish
Wow.
the first version of the app, and I'm still, creating new stuff and updating it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, that's amazing. I thought you just started with one and
yeah,
then you continue to develop more, but actually you had a clear plan of 100
yes, I did.
activities. I mean, this is amazing.
I did.
This
Yes, I
is
did.
just,
And I think
I mean,
in the first version, I think I put 90.
yeah.
And in the second version, I added like 10 more, But yes, the first version was already quite complete, actually. And I just wanted to, yeah, to deliver it to the people, this tool of, oh, I'm going on my bike. Instead of rushing from A to B, like let's enjoy the
Think a
Alexander
little.
technique on my bike. And yeah, it's really nice. And most students use it, and they really like it very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's really a fantastic app. It's so fulfilling, and also your voice. I like to listen to your voice. So
Thank
calming and yeah, and stimulating, inspiring,
Mm-hmm.
and new thoughts. And I think every one of us is teaching differently. So it's
Absolutely.
always good to have these different voices, different
Yes.
styles, and kind of fresh and new way of talking about the same.
Exactly.
So who do
Exactly.
you envision using the Think Up app? Can you describe the diverse audiences that can benefit from it beyond musician? Or didn't you, it's a target group, not only musicians, yes?
No,
When
no,
you
not at
talk
all.
about bicycle
Yeah, exactly. So the Think Up app is actually for daily life for everybody.
daily life.
There is a musician section, but there are 9 other sections. So we have traveling, we have computer devices, we have sleeping position, sleeping, helping to fall asleep as well, to wake up without pain. Um, yeah, we have daily life activities, bending, walking, brushing your teeth, carrying a backpack, lifting something from the ground. There is the activity of the daily warm up, the section of the daily warm up where you can do short warm ups for the morning or in a break or something. There's the section of sports with running, mountain walking, the gym, swimming. Of course, not literally in the swimming pool, but there's an audio with some thoughts to think about for when you go swimming. Yeah, what am I forgetting? Lying down in active rest, of course, semi-supine or constructive rest, where you lie with your knees up and your head on the books.
Hmm.
Many audio guides in that section. The basic principles are there of the Alexander technique. Yeah, let me open it to see if I forget something.
Yeah, yeah, open it. And I think,
Um,
there's, it's not a wellness app. There are a lot of
no,
wellness apps out there. And I think that's really apart from your app, yes? Or is there something else who makes it separate or different from other apps that are around?
Are you asking me if ThinkUp is different from the wellness apps that are
Yeah,
around?
and also, we know it's not wellness, it's about thinking
Hmm.
constructively,
Yeah.
but what else differ from other apps?
Well, I'm not sure because I didn't check all the other apps to be honest. I just made the thing that I wanted to do. So
Hmm.
but I think what usually is the case, I think, is that um, we separate. So there is an app maybe for posture or for fitness or for Pilates or whatever, and there's an app for breathing, and then you have another app for positive thinking maybe or something or affirmations or and an app for mindfulness. But I think the beauty of the Alexander technique and also of my app as a consequence is that we kind of have the whole picture. It's about everything. It's about your entire system, as you already told me. So in my app, you can work on your breathing and you can work on mindfulness and you work on your posture, you work on free movement, you work on being easy in everyday life activities and not having it separated. So it's not like lying down in active rest is the one of the only things that you are like kind of stopping with what you're doing, and you're doing an Alexander technique procedure. But for the rest, the Alexander technique is really about while you're leading your life. So while you're waiting for the tram, and while you're sitting on the bus, and while you are, sitting behind the computer. So I think that's a kind of unique thing about the app and about the Alexander technique.
Hmm. Thinking
Yeah.
in activity.
Yes, thinking and activity.
Yeah, it's really this. And I always say, you don't need to take time to use your Alexander knowledge.
Oh,
You can start wherever you are. When you think about it, you just start. What can you do
yeah,
to make you feel more aligned and more relaxed and up and out? It's
absolutely.
really it's
That's
really
it.
the fantastic thing. You don't lose any time. So
No,
this
not
is,
at all.
is perfect actually
Yeah,
for everybody who has no time.
absolutely. It's super efficient. And then you
Uh-huh.
can still do a lot of things. I mean, it's not about also not, we can work hard, we can have we can have ambition, we can have a business, we can have, a full life with whatever it is, but you can be calm and easy and have a good breath and free movement while you are doing all those things. It doesn't need to be like doing all this and then having to recover or go on holiday or
Yeah.
something, like it's really not necessary.
Yeah, it's like sitting is not good, but it depends on how you sit. You
That's
can
it.
sit very dynamically and for hours and you don't have any pain.
Absolutely.
I never
Absolutely.
thought that's possible before I learned the Alexander technique because I
Exactly.
was a bad sitter.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I couldn't sit well.
Yeah.
So,
No, but that's so true. And this part is so blind in our society. Yeah? So they don't even consider about the way we sit maybe is a factor in this whole story of how
yeah.
bad sitting is. And it's not even researched, or not even in their awareness, that it matters. So,
In the chairs, the chair developers, they make a big rumor about having the right chair, but that's
yeah,
not always the solution. If you don't know how to sit, the best chair can't do anything for you. But
absolutely.
that's a whole other story.
That's
Let's
a whole other
continue with
story.
your app.
Mhm.
How do you suggest others incorporate these practices into their daily routines, especially for those with busy schedules, as we talked, because, they think, yeah, but I can't do this while I'm working. I have to think about the work. So, what
Sure.
do you suggest?
So I think the 10% of my app is always free. So I suggest, of course, starting with that and listening maybe to the basic principles if you don't know them yet while you're traveling, or folding the laundry, or, this is waiting somewhere. These are good moments to listen maybe to the basic principles and then start to lie down maybe now and then, see how you feel about that. Watch the video about it if you don't know how it goes, and then listen to that audio in the lying down and active rest. And then we have the standing and the walking is also free. So walking we do always, So
Yeah.
also that you can just try out, walk to the wherever you were going, and I think the audio is 10 minutes or 8 minutes, and if the walk is 5 minutes, you just press stop and and you continue another time. Or so the walking is very easy, I think, to try out in your daily life and make it like a mindful, relaxing, freeing yourself up moment rather than rushing from A to B. Where and the standing one is also great for standing in line at the supermarket, or waiting for the train, being in a museum. I don't know, there's many moments that you could use it. And then if you're a musician, there's also the guide for music practicing, which is also free. And yeah, I will help you a little bit with finding, yeah, clarity in what is important in practicing.
Yeah,
And then, of
I
course,
think,
when you like it, you can continue and you can subscribe for.
yeah.
It's not so expensive, I think, for 5.99 euros a month.
Yeah, no, I mean this
You
is
get
really
access to everything.
affordable, and it's
Yeah.
it's really great stuff in there. And it's always people think it's hard to train during something, but it's actually the decision to change your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
When you wait in a line, you
Mm-hmm.
just think about all other stuff, about work, about children, about whatever, and
Yeah.
this is causing stress and
Absolutely.
anxiety. So it's a decision to switch off, give
Yeah.
your brain something else to think.
Yeah.
And this is such a great external tool to
Yeah.
give you the time. And whenever you go and having to wait somewhere, just put in your AirPods and
Yeah.
listen and give your brain another and more nurturing way to think
Yeah.
and your body a break
Absolutely.
and
Totally.
coming back to calmness. And I think this change is just a mindset shift,
Yeah.
that it's a decision you have to make. Otherwise, nothing will change. You can listen to the audio without listening.
Oh, yeah. That's so true.
It's really
That's
something
very
people
true.
can do. And
Yeah, absolutely. And then it becomes like a parrot or a robot voice. And of course,
yeah,
we need to really, yeah, really live it. What you hear, try to really embody what the thinking that you're getting from me. And of
yeah.
course, also to clarify, in the end, it is important that Alexander students make it their own and make their own version of it, and really, of course, in the end, not use. They don't need the app anymore because they've internalized it and know how to think for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. What feedback have you received from users about how the app has impacted their well-being and performance?
Yeah, yeah, many nice emails, really nice, really, really heartwarming. Yeah, what do I? All kinds of things, from people having less pain to sleeping better to performing without being so anxious to bringing calm in their lives. Also, I just got a nice review, which I didn't consider even yet, but from a user who said, "Oh, it's so nice that this app does not have any notifications or push notifications or something.
Oh,
There's never going to be like a bling, subscribe or bling or whatever, practice or nothing like that.
mhm.
It's really very calm and it's just very simple." And so there's no forcing you into a subscription or anything. It's really just offering the free stuff. And hopefully people start to look for an Alexander teacher if they haven't gotten one. And you can subscribe. And yeah, so I thought that was very nice, and that it's at a free, of course, and push free. And yeah, many things also about my voice, indeed, compliments about my voice, and yeah, the practicality of it as well. Yeah, the easiness to how to put it into practice. Yeah.
Mm. Would you like to um, guide us through a little exercise or something?
Yeah, so yes, absolutely. We can go through a little Alexander thinking procedure, the very common one. And we always start in the Alexander technique with a moment of doing nothing and really, yeah, being for a moment. And yeah, you come into the present moment and you start to notice, oh yeah, I have feet and I have sitting bones. And if you're sitting, You're feeling your sitting bones on the chair, and you become aware of your head and floating above your sitting bones somewhere. And, and you also can be aware of, your panoramic vision. So if you look into the distance for a moment and you see something, maybe a tree or a painting or something, and you don't only see the tree or the painting, but you also see something on the right and left corners of your eyes. So you have this panoramic vision, as we call it. So in my case, I see a plant on my left and I see a wall on my right. And I don't have to, work for it at all. It's just coming to my eyes, and I have really calmly receiving that. And then it's always nice to, okay, my eyes are softly receiving that, what I see. I don't need to go forward to the world is coming to me. And then it's always nice to remember, oh yes, I have a back part of me as well. So it's nice to put your hand on the back of your brain and you feel, oh yes, there is my visual cortex. I, uh, I see there basically. So the eyes are transferring all the images to the back of your head. And that gives a nice feeling of, oh yes, I'm not flat, I'm three-dimensional. I don't have only a front, I also have a back. And back of the head and back of the neck, back of your back. That kind of brings you awareness also of the space behind you, which we often forget. And we often go towards the screen and towards the world. It's really nice to be aware of, oh, I can be aware of behind me and breathe in my back and be mindful of that. And yeah, so we start to expand our awareness of, make it bigger. Zooming out, I call it a lot. So also the space above you is nice, the ceiling, all this distance between your head and the ceiling. And there's the feet on the ground still and the legs of the chair on the ground. So we have up and down working together. Yeah, so
Wow, that's great. That's
yeah,
wonderful.
that's
I think especially for people who are overwhelmed with all what comes into their lives, if they can't work it out for themselves, it's very good to zoom out,
yeah,
step a little bit back into yourself and just
yeah,
be
yeah,
and
absolutely.
sort it out again. I love it
Mhm.
because it's really again this interaction from mind to the body
Mhm.
to the emotions. I felt it really how it calms the whole nervous system. How I get more conscious about.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah, and then also what I also find very important that we are not only connected to ourselves more, of course, to the whole
Mhm.
of us, but also to the space and the world. So that we are not separated from the world, but actually kind of one with the world and with other fellow human beings and nature, and so that we have this feeling of connection. Huh? I think
Mhm.
our culture is so easily we are becoming disconnected from that, because of the screens and all the way we have built our societies at the moment, and it's very easy to feel separated, I think, from each other and from the bigger picture, basically. Yeah. So also in that
Yeah.
sense, zooming out and connecting with that is also something we can really practice.
Yeah. I mean, we are part of everything.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
we see us too much as individuals, and this is also making it hard. You have to do everything yourself. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Also true.
And I
Yeah.
think all those components are really hard then to entangle. And
Yeah.
meditation is with closed eyes. It's nice in the moment, but then as soon as you open your
Yeah.
eyes, you're
Yeah.
in the middle of overwhelm again. And
Exactly.
that's a very good practice to stay in this calmness with open eyes,
Yeah. Absolutely.
getting all in without
Exactly.
needing to do anything. I love this practice of not doing. It's
Exactly.
it's hard for me, but still it's the best.
It's the best. Each time it's a relief, and
Yes.
each time it's wonderful. And it's true. I love what you say that it is so not disconnecting you from the world because you can practice this while walking and while driving and while being in your orchestra. And this habit of closing your eyes and going only inward is of course great for sleeping and for if you want to practice meditation, it's perfect. But we also need to be in both inside and outside at the same time in this all-inclusive awareness, in relaxation, in practical life.
Hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, it becomes indeed what you say, like, yeah, yeah, it doesn't become integrated. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's really the key
yeah,
to integrate it in your daily life.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
mentioned that doing less can lead to more in terms of personal growth and well-being. Could you explain this concept further in relation to the practices with thinking up? I mean, you also mentioned that you had to train or to use your instrument less,
Mm-hmm.
like 1 hour and before 5 hours. So this is striking.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
also with personal growth, it's very interesting. So uh, well, I love to hear more.
Yeah. So doing less is about literally about releasing excess muscle tension, I think. That's part of the story. So when you are doing your daily life activities and you're, for instance, unloading the washing and you're now pulling it out and then putting it in and then quick and then, oh yeah, I need to do that. So all these things I'm doing with way too much tension. So to do less while you're doing is about how to release any excess tension and to really put the laundry in with a soft long neck and free shoulders, widening shoulders, and to do all your daily life activities from that feeling. And we can always do a little less in a way. We can also, we don't even need to stop what we're doing, but while you're doing, you can release basically what's too much. Huh? So I think that is the part of the doing less while you are leading your life is a lot to do with releasing excess muscle
Mhm.
tension and bringing you into, yeah, into expansion effortlessly and with free breathing.
And
And
actually, you can do more because you have more
yeah,
energy left.
totally,
And you
totally,
are faster because you are consciously into the movement and into the action and not distracted from everything else. I
absolutely,
think that's what I never um, imagined. I always thought I will lose time if I lie down now.
exactly,
And
exactly.
as
That's the
soon as
same.
I noticed if you lie down, you're much faster, it was
Exactly.
like, that can't be. That's
Yeah,
not true. That's not the truth.
yeah,
But it works.
but it
What the
works.
hell is that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's so true. And indeed, lying down is giving you time back, not only because you are less pain and less tense and less you prevent all that, but also um,
The brain is working better. I think, it's about
yes, yes. Now
nurturing the
remember what I want
brain.
to
So
say.
you make those connections
Yes,
suddenly. And suddenly
exactly.
oh, this is not important.
Yeah,
I don't need to do that. I can give this to somebody else.
that's it. That's it. And you're also less clumsy, because when you go from stress and from the speed, then you bump yourself or you drop something or whatever. So also that is all wasting time and you becoming stressed is a waste of time for sure. Because
Yeah.
in one point you will be maybe getting a burnout or something, you know.
Yeah, making more mistakes,
Yeah, totally.
things fall over and you have to
Yeah.
take time to
Yeah, absolutely.
put the mess away again.
Yeah, but also the focus is about doing less. So if we are actually in the zoomed in tunnel vision, this is actually a lot of work. My eyes are tensing and my face is tensing and my muscles are tensing and I'm holding my breath and I'm thinking I'm doing a very good job because I'm working on the computer with this, you know. But actually, this effortless big focus is much less work. So also that is, it seems like, oh, now I have to be aware of everything and that's a lot of work. No, it is not. It's totally effortless. It's receiving more by doing less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to experience. So, for somebody very critical about the effectiveness of the Alexander technique
Hmm.
or the think up, what
Hmm.
what advice would you give those?
Wow. I
Or
would
shall we
say,
keep this question?
well,
We skip it.
no, I mean, if you're very critical, but you're still listening to this, I think there's probably something there that is still you find a little bit intriguing, right? And the only thing I can advise you is try it out, and really
Mhm.
just give yourself a challenge. You're like, okay, I will lie down for 2 weeks, once a day, for 15 minutes with this free long version one, and then I'm gonna see what it does.
Mhm.
That's the only way you can really find out, because you cannot really reject this from not experiencing it. And
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, find yourself a teacher.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Finally, what's next for you and your work? Are there any future developments or projects related to the Think app or something else you're excited about?
Well, I'm developing an online only academy.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that is a very nice project. So I'm starting now with a course especially for violinists and violists.
Oh,
Bratsch und Geige.
cool.
And so I'm making all these videos about vibrato, about spiccato, about all the things shifting, all the difficult things about our instrument,
Mhm.
this instrument, and so that all the students like for instance, studying in London or in whatever Basel or whatever, wherever you are studying, and they have Alexander Technique teachers often, but they are not Alexander Technique teachers with knowledge of the violin. So for those students, I think it's great to have this opportunity to have lessons, but to also have all my lessons in the course. And then, this is my dream to reach many more violinists and violists, because this is really my super specialty, and
Mhm.
I know I can help so many more people. So I think this is really a great step in that direction, and then slowly expand it to musicians in general, and maybe even Alexander in general, but I'm a bit doubting about that, because of course Alexander is also needs to be really live with a teacher. But so I never would say, learn the Alexander technique only from this course, but maybe it can be an extra tool or an extra resource, or a first getting to know it and then finding yourself a local teacher or something. So yeah, that's a bit my hope.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's always great to have those kind of additional support, because sometimes you have to figure it out at the end for yourself. Even
yeah,
if you have a teacher, if you don't start thinking about what you're doing and observing yourself, you will not get out of your problem. So
no,
it's really an interaction that needs to take
yeah,
place. And if the
yeah,
interaction is from an app or from a outside online course, it's really great.
yeah,
I love this idea.
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Lot of success with that. And keep
yeah.
us posted. And we,
Yes.
we will probably have a link. We can put a link under the.
Not, no, from the
Mhm.
online course, not yet. It's not finished
Yep.
yet, but
But
from my website, yes.
yeah, you
Yeah,
just, I will send you everything and then you
yeah,
put the link. And
yeah,
people will probably come back and wait for the link
yeah,
of
yeah,
your online program because there is a big need in the music world, and they don't need to work it out for themselves or wait and search for 1.5 year like you did. It's
exactly.
better
And
that
then
they have.
also because I was trained as an Alexander teacher and I had wonderful teachers, but there were no musicians at all, and I didn't bring my violin to school. Maybe I brought my violin twice to school or something, to the lesson, or maybe 3 times.
Hmm.
But so the things I'm offering with this online course, I think it will. This is really took me 15 years to figure it out, and some things are even from recent. So some things are even 20 years
Hmm.
of really trial and error on my own, and trying to figure out with Alexander technique, how do you free up, and how do you shift, and with widening and without you know limiting yourself. So it is indeed what you say. It makes everybody's journey so much shorter. I really can't wait actually to offer this to people. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Maaike, for joining us today and sharing your incredible insights and experiences. Your dedication to helping others through the Alexander Technique and the innovative Think Up app is truly inspiring. We appreciate you taking the time to connect with us and our listeners.
Yes, thank you very much for having me, Cecile. It was a really
Yeah.
lovely conversation. Yeah.
Oh, so nice to have you. To our audience, thank you for tuning in to this episode. If you found value in this conversation, we encourage you to like and share this interview with your friends, family, and fellow musicians. Your support helps us reach more people who can benefit from these important discussions. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more enlightening interviews and content that inspires personal growth and well being. We look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Until then, take care and keep moving with freedom, balance, and ease. Thank you. Bye bye, Maaike.
Bye bye.